welcome to our 5th episode of Wedding Chats with Maura, where we talk to the dream managers in the wedding industry about how they bring their clients' visions to life. Today we have wedding photographer extraordinaire.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Kathi Littwin, and we've worked together many times.
Yes.
And what I love about your work is your calmness. No matter how high the nerves get the day of the wedding, you radiate this calmness.
Thank you.
And you have a wonderful way of, when you take that group photo, of just getting everybody in place and calm. So tell me, how did you choose to be a wedding photographer? What in your background made you become one?
I come from a fine art background, and I
Okay.
thought I was going to be a fabulous artist.
All right.
Um,
Didn't work out?
Well, I still do my own thing,
Oh, okay.
but there's also a practical side
Yes.
as well. I studied painting and drawing and sculpture and clay and and then actually by accident I had to take a photo class and
Oh.
everything clicked.
Right.
And it was just the perfect storm of everything that I like together.
So I know very little about photography, and in fact, until the iPhone was invented, I never owned a camera.
Oh my.
So if I was to get married, I would come to you and I'd be like, okay, Kathi, I don't know, tell me, how should I choose a photographer?
Well, I think you need a vocabulary to start looking
Right.
at pictures.
See, I wouldn't even have a vocabulary.
Yeah.
Give me the vocabulary.
There are 5 basic styles
All
of
right.
photography, of wedding photography. There's the classic formal, and that was the main style of photography up into the late 1990s, 2000. And it was directed by the technology and the cameras of the day. Things were slower, so you staged things.
Okay.
As technology changed, you were able to get a little bit more fluid in shooting.
Huh.
Photojournalism came in at the late 90s. A true photojournalistic shooter does not interfere with the day at all. Lifestyle is the next category, and that's where the type I do. And it's a blend of those two, because I think you do need to have some parts of the day that you direct, but you really love the candid storytelling aspects.
Right.
Another style is dramatic, and that's like hyper reality if you want to be somebody else for your wedding day.
Ah. All
And-
right, and I get that because
Some people-
I've done weddings with brides. You know, they want to become a princess for the day. They
Yes.
take on a theme. Oh, I never. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's people that come from a fashion photography background, and it sort of looks like a Vogue fashion shoot. So it does. It's
That's very stylized.
yes,
Then, right?
yes.
So that's given me this insight I never thought about before. A different language I can talk to my clients
Oh,
about.
yeah.
So when we're talking about the music, if they're going with a classic style, then they want to go with classic music. Or if they're going like photojournalism, maybe something a little bit more contemporary. Like the other day, I had a bride do Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic.
Oh.
It was perfect. I've never used that one before, and it was great. So I need to now start asking my brides, what style of photography are you using?
They don't give you musical suggestions, or do they come to you with questions?
Oh
as
no,
well?
it's kind of a process, right? So, but I've never thought in that process to ask the question about their style of photography. But now I'm going to.
I think it tells a lot, and I mean, if it gets confusing, it's simply camera aware, not camera aware, setup, and or spontaneous.
Okay.
So you kind of have those words in mind when you're looking at pictures to give you an idea of. You describe a photo, just say what's going on in it, and the better a photo is, the more you can talk about it. If you look at a picture and you say, I don't know what's going on,
Then it's not a good photo.
that's not a good photo.
Right,
If you
right,
can
right.
use a lot of descriptive words and then they resonate with you, then that's a good photo.
Okay. So there's an expression I love: if you confuse, you lose. So if you don't know what's going on, it's not a great photo. So let's talk about an image. An images that stay with you. That definitely happens for me at weddings with pieces of music. This year I had a bride who unfortunately her mom had Alzheimer's, and the only thing she wanted, was that Ave Maria was played when she walked down the aisle, because that was her way of staying connected to her mom. And it was such a beautiful moment. And now it's kind of stayed with me. And when I sing Ave Maria, I think about that moment. Do you have certain images or photos that you've taken that stay with you?
Absolutely. Through the years, there's always favorites, and they stay on the website.
Oh,
by the
okay.
way. They
Okay. So
they
I can. All right.
Yes. There's one photo I have in mind of the dad and his daughter in the limousine, and they're on their way to the ceremony. He's got his eyes closed, and he's having his moment. She's looking out the window. And when I was sitting across from them and I looked at this image, I saw her little girl face. I just saw like hers.
There's something about the image that you
Yes.
could imagine her.
And it's interesting because practically I am sitting very close to them.
Okay.
But it's such an intimate moment
yeah,
that it's as if I'm not there. So those things, when they come together, are very special.
Right, right.
A post picture of a couple that's beautifully lit and they look great, but then the next moment when they forget I'm there and they look at each other and they have this connection and you say, oh, they love each other so much, and I got that.
And that's the photo, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got that.
So yeah, it's interesting. They do stay with you.
Yeah. So that must be, again, a kind of testimony to you that somebody would feel so comfortable of you being in a limbo that they would close their eyes and look out the window, right? Because that's not, if there's somebody there, sometimes you don't do that naturally because you might feel like you're being rude,
Yeah.
So that, again, goes back to my initial statement about how calm you are.
Yes, thank you. Well, I mean, some people feel it's that they're like the conductor of the wedding, and I'm not.
Right. No, you are definitely not.
I'm a spy.
Yeah.
And so I'm there, but I try to let you forget me.
Yes, yeah.
When I do the family pictures, one of the things that's important to me is I do my very best to memorize everybody's names.
Oh.
And when you were talking about the calm stuff,
Yeah.
that makes it easier for me to direct everyone.
You're right, because I've heard people get so mad at the photographer. She kept yelling at me, right? But if you're and they're yelling because they don't know your name and they're trying to figure it all out. But when that is just a great piece of advice.
Sheila, could you move to the left? Is so much better than, hey, lady in the red dress.
Right, yeah. So if you're a couple, it's almost important for you to let the photographer kind of know some names
Oh, I
beforehand.
require it. I have a list of who's who.
Okay.
So I don't know everybody.
Right.
But I know the immediate family and the bridal party.
Right. Oh, that's a great takeaway. That's
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
So the question I always end with, I know you're married,
Yes.
but if you were to get married again and your husband's not watching, what would you do differently about your wedding, either something photography related or just something else in the day that you were like, how could I have missed that? So knowing what you know now about the industry, what?
Well, I forgot about my hair because I have short hair and I
Okay.
don't fuss with it.
I would never forget about my hair.
Yeah, I know. I had wonderful makeup. My husband had a custom-made suit. I did spend much more on the dress than I thought.
Ah.
And so it's not like when you're thinking about the budget and you're planning things, you might go over here and there when you're more familiar with what you're looking for. If you know that that's the quality that you want and that's what it requires, then you decide whether it's worth adding that to your budget or not.
Okay.
And that's why I think, talking about those elements in photography are important, that you have an idea of what's in these pictures. Do you see yourself in that photo? Is that a picture that's like you? Do you feel a connection with that person in there, that you can be captured in that way and that fits the mood of your day?
Right.
And when it comes down to it, I think the photographs are the things that you take with you.
Right.
When you leave everything else behind. And it's something to seriously consider, that you pick the best match
Between the
can.
photographer
And your personality.
and your personality,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
And
I feel that too about the music.
Yeah.
That I love when I have a connection with my bride. Like I have a wedding tomorrow. I'm so excited to go. I'm excited for them. I was watching the weather this week.
Well,
So-
I mean, I think the question comes up, was it worth it? When you have a wedding and you've invited all these people and you've spent this money on this party, is it worth it?
Yes, yeah.
And after I had my own wedding, the answer that I can now say for sure is yes.
I love that. Right. And I once had somebody say to me along those lines. It was a second wedding. Oh, we weren't gonna make it big, but then we realized there are so few moments in life to celebrate.
Yeah.
And this is one of them.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I guess our takeaway would be celebrate the great moments, and it's worth it.
Yes.
It's worth it to have great music, and it's worth it to have fabulous photography.
Absolutely.
And it's a wrap.